good. Okay, so hi, my name's Leyandria Murray, and it all started basically, my pro-life story started, it was my senior year in high school, and we had an assignment. My teacher said, you guys are all getting ready to go off to college, you need to clean up your social media websites, so I need you all to Google yourself and see what pops up. So I get on the computer at home, because I was like, I'm not doing this at school, what if something bad pops up, you know? So I get on the computer and I Google Leyandria Murray, and the first thing I say is, do you mean Alexandria Murray? And I'm like, no, I mean Leyandria Murray. Yeah. So I finally go to like the 4th page of Alexandria Murray so I could find something on myself, and my MySpace pops up, old school MySpace, and my Facebook and Twitter and all that great stuff. And I'm doing a little searching and I see an article. I see my name highlighted, I see my mother's name, and I see my grandmother's name. So I'm like, hey, what's this? The Detroit News? I'm famous. So I click this little article, and this article is about me when I was not even born yet. And it's a story about how my mother got pregnant at a young age. She was 14 years old when she got pregnant with me. My father, her boyfriend, was 17 at the time. It was a consensual thing. They knew that they were having sex. They just were just doing something they didn't have any business doing. But my grandmother, when she found out that my mother was pregnant, she gave my mom an ultimatum. She said, hey, you either have an abortion and you stay in my house and I take care of you until you're 18, or, you know, you get out with your baby and try to figure it out on your own. And my mom was scared. She did not know what to do. And my dad wasn't really there to help her a lot. I'm not saying that he wasn't there, he just wasn't a big help financially. So my mom, she was really, really scared. She had no idea what she was going to do. She stayed with my grandmother and told her that she was going to go to the abortion clinic and have the procedure done. And, you know, what any other 14-year-old would do. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm going to stay at home. So the day comes, my grandma takes my mom to the clinic, and my mom is walking back with the doctor, and she tells me that she was a little bit uneasy. Like she just did not know what to expect, and she just was scared. My grandmother's in the waiting room reading a magazine. And my mom sits on the table, and the doctor is talking to her about the procedure, and something just snapped. And she just goes, I can't do this. I can't kill my baby. I can't take this innocent life. And she gets up off that table and she walks out. And that was the beginning of this. So my mom walks out and my grandmother's like, what are you doing? I told you that if you decide to have this baby, I am done with you. You are not coming back in my house with a child. And my mom goes, okay, I guess that's what I have to do. So that day, she was out. She was on her own. Can you imagine being 14 years old, pregnant? Yeah, pregnant, nowhere to go. Like you didn't even know where your next meal was coming from, let alone prenatal visits and vitamins and just, I can't imagine. Yeah, you can't even drive. You're right, you can't even drive. Where are you going to go? Thank God, oh thank God, there were angels surrounding my mother. And she had a lot of people in her circle that were there to help her. You know that saying, it takes a village to raise a child? Well, imagine if you're a child having a child, how many people it takes. So my mother, she enrolls in this school, this like a high school for pregnant women or young women who are pregnant with children. And she met some of her guardian angels. She had teachers who were there like mothers, who comforted her and who gave her guidance and helped her. So she had me. And along the way, she had a teacher who was very, very close with her, who helped her get housing and find a job.
Wow.
Now, she was 14 years old. She can't rent a house under her name. Who's going to allow a 14-year-old to live in a home and let alone, you know, expect them to pay rent on time every month? So she had to rent this house under someone else's name, work odd under-the-table jobs to make money, but she did exactly what she had to do to take care of me. Which, today, looking back, I'm just thinking, wow, she's such a phenomenal woman. I could not do it. But then again, you know, given the circumstances, you got to do what you got to do. So long story short, my mom works all of these jobs, and but you know, it wasn't always that simple. I will say this, because it took a long time for her to find housing. For a while, we were poor, and when I say poor, I mean like homeless poor. We slept in cars. We really did, in the city of Detroit. And I remember when I was growing up, we lived on the east side of Detroit, not far from the mayor's mansion. And I remember thinking, wow, this is such a nice neighborhood. You know, there are huge houses on this street. why are we in a car? Like, why do we live in a car? You know, but it never once really hit me that we were poor. When you're a kid, you don't really notice things like that. Well, at least I didn't. I just noticed that my mom loved me. I noticed that anything I could ask for, I had. And I guess I had simple demands because I was a child, you know, chips, pop, whatever, you know, food, you know, McDonald's every once in a while. That was a treat for me. But no, when I fast forward and I look over my life, I'm thinking, wow, she really did a good job. I tell this story. There's an instance where it was Mother's Day a couple years ago, and I really wanted to take my mom somewhere nice. This is just, I really wanted to take her somewhere nice. I'm like, yeah, I got a great job. Like, I can afford to take you somewhere. It's Mother's Day. Like, where do you want to go? And she's like, well, I don't know. My mom's being all nice. I don't know. Take me to Red Lobster. I'm like, yeah, we go there all the time. Pick somewhere nice. This is great. This is going to be great. And she's like, I'm not sure. I just really can't think of anywhere I'd like to go. And I'm like, well, what about that little restaurant we used to go to all of the time when I was younger? You know, the one by the water right downtown off of Jefferson. And she's like, what restaurant are you talking about? I'm like, you remember there was a nice lady there, Miss Hattie. She was older. You know, she was, you know, helped us out a little bit. My mom goes, a restaurant with Miss Hattie? What restaurant are you talking about? And I go, you remember that man in the kitchen, Mr. Jim? He used to always, like, you know, sit us by the kitchen door, and we were, like, had the best seat in the restaurant. And my mom goes, Leanne, that was a homeless shelter, a soup kitchen. And I'm like, oh, well, they had the best darn soup there was, you know? So, I mean, and I can say it jokingly now, but when I was younger, I had no idea that every week when we went to this restaurant, that we were at a soup kitchen, and that these people who I had in my mind, I thought this guy was the head chef. He was just someone helping out the homeless every week, you know? I mean, I had no idea. I guess I was so content just knowing that I had such a loving mother, and that even though we didn't have a lot, we had each other, and that's all that mattered to me. Mm-hmm. So fast forward, I didn't know I was pro-life until my senior year of college, first semester. I'm walking around in the Oakland Center, and I stopped because there was an event going on, and there was free food, so I was there. I had an hour to kill before class, and I was like, hey, let me just grab some food and hear what this lady's talking about. Little did I know that this was divine intervention, and this is God working. I stopped, and it just so happened that the speaker that day was Rebecca Kiesling, and she was talking about how she was conceived in rape. And I'm listening, and I'm like, okay, this is great, pass the chips. All right, this lady has a great story. Oh, great story. So after I talked to Rebecca, and I'm telling her my story, and she goes, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that your mother gave you life. I'm so glad your mom is pro-life. Or, you know, I'm so glad your mom has decided to give you life. And I'm thinking, wow, I am too. It never had like appeared to me or dawned on me that she actually made that choice, and that, you know, I could tell people about it and help people. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe I am pro-life. So after going to more meetings and learning what it was to actually be pro-life, I actually could say, hey, I'm Leyandria Murray. I may be a feminist, but I am pro-life. You know? Now that I am pro-life and I have my own story to tell, I figured out, and I asked God. I said, God, please give me something. Give me my passion. Show me what I'm supposed to do in life. And it just kind of like fell into my lap. And I was like, hey, thank you, Lord. So now that I have this passion and this fire, like it just really, it's like burning inside of me. I have to tell everyone about it.
We can't tell.
Really? But now that I have this passion, I just like wake up every day and I literally put it on my Instagram, and I just tell all of my friends and my family, and it's gotten so contagious that people know that they can come to me when they need resources. And so far, I've saved 3 babies. Yes. And one baby that I saved was actually born like 2 weeks ago, and I went and I held him. I know, and it's even really cool because people like ask me to be the godmother. Like, you saved my baby, will you be the godmother? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you want me to be the godmother of your child? Of course. But no, so I've actually saved 3 babies. I'm have like 1,000 god babies, but it's okay. It's all in God's plan, you know.
That's right.
I'm sat here to save the babies. So I just say that. Let me wrap it up. But I am 100% pro-life. And I know for a fact that I was put on this earth to spread the word and change people's minds about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.